Yes.
Okay. Welcome, Niklas Stålvind, to 69 Faces of Rock. Congratulations on this new album. Absolutely excellent. Boys and girls, if you don't have this record, you must have it. It's a must. Niklas, tell me, how long did it take you to put this album together, recording-wise and writing-wise?
Oh, well, thank you, first of all. Yeah, it took we started to record exactly a year ago, but it took I don't know, maybe 1 year to write it and half a year to record it. But it was it was actually a very fast recording, and the easiest recording I've been involved in regarding Wolf. But we couldn't record everything in one, big chunk. We had to have, some space in between the recording sessions. But it wasn't I had a couple of songs written even before we started this album. And then we just continued together, and it took a year to record and to write and record. Actually, it's I think it's the fastest album in recent years.
Mm-hmm. Now, you also had pandemic to deal with. How much of that downtime contributed to the overall field recording? Anything?
It contributed in a positive way, actually, because we couldn't tour, we couldn't play live, we couldn't do anything else but work our day jobs and get home to our separate studios and write and send ideas back and forth, and then get together and rehearse the stuff when we had 10 songs. Mm-hmm. And then ending up recording 12 songs, actually. So it was really good, because what else could we do than focus on the next album?
Yeah. The album's been out for a few weeks now. What is the initial response you're getting back from the fans?
Very positive, very positive. And I'm really glad, because I felt a positive vibe myself towards the whole record and the recording, the writing, everything. We have a new lineup in the band, and this is the first time they've been involved in the writing and the whole process of putting the album together. And it's been a pure joy. We really like each other and like working together, and it's a positive vibe in the band, and I think it shows on the album.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've done a number of albums by now. How do you think keeps fresh for yourself?
I think it goes in waves. It depends on, speaking for myself, it depends on where I am in my life, and also where the band is together in the band's life. It's like 4 people together, we go through stuff in life. It's it's not an easy ride to be in a band, especially in a country like Sweden, where it takes a lot to be able to make a living from it. And we are a band that have separate day jobs, and we have families, and many of us have children, and it's kind of stressful for band members. That's one of the reasons in the past that band members felt like it's time for me to leave the band now. It's getting too difficult. So that's a thing you got to live with. And also where you are mentally in your own life, it affects a lot how the songs come out, how the album come out. You're always trying not to get stuck in your old ways of writing. You're trying to come up with something new and fresh, but it's not always that easy. This time, I think it was very easy. And no matter, we've done some things songwriting wise that we usually not do. We've used the Mellotron, which I used a couple of times before, but we have almost like a waltz 1 2 3 1 2 3, you know, section in one of the songs. We have you know, only tambourines and vocals. We have crazy theremin solo. That doesn't matter whatever we do, everyone calls it traditional metal anyway. So if we next album would have some saxophone or, you know, go crazy, it wouldn't matter. People are, you know, perceive Wolf as a traditional classic heavy metal band, and we are, but we're not trying to be stuck in that with that label. We just want to make music. We want to write songs, and that's have been our goal from day one, actually.
Speaking of songs, what are the songs about on this new album? Are there any concepts behind the songs? Introduce some of the tracks.
Yeah, the album starts with Dust, which kind of is one of the themes of the album. I have been on a kind of a more of a soul-searching journey when I have been writing the lyrics for this one. It's Dust is about, you know, the theme. One of the themes on the album is how incredibly insignificant we human beings really are. And, you know, we are just dust on a speck of dust. This earth will not be forever, and humankind will not be forever. And it's kind of sad and depressing, I think, but also it makes you realize that you gotta do what you gotta do now, because there won't be a second chance. There won't be a second earth. I don't think there will be a second life. I mean, not personally, I don't believe that, because when my brain is gone, what's left? I mean, so that's my personal take. But the other theme is what I always write about, and that's the darker side of humankind. And I think that it's a good idea to look into your soul and be honest with yourself and see what you are as a human being. You are capable of really terrible stuff. And I don't think any of us is a true saint. I mean, Mother Teresa, who people bring up as an example, she was a horrible person. I won't go into all the details, but I mean, we like to put people on pedestal and say they are really, really good. They are saints when they're not. We like to point fingers at others and virtue signaling to elevate ourselves. But I think that's bullshit, all of it. What I write is about is our darker side of our human psychology. And I think it's a good idea to have a look at that and realize what you have inside yourself. And that can really make you a better person and bring out the good in yourself if you accept what you are. So that's another theme that I constantly have been written about.
Now, this darker side of things, where's that inspiration coming from?
From, I don't know, I've always been very interested in psychology, and I've studied psychology at the university as well. I've been working with people, drug addicts, who had pretty bad diagnosis, psychological illness, and some of them really, really, really nasty people. I mean, full-blown psychopaths. So it's hard for me not to write about it. I find it interesting, and also, I mean, if we just look at the world, how I see the world today, I'm not a very positive person. I am very pessimistic, and I feel bad for my kids who will grow up in a world that is very evil, and I can't help myself but thinking about these themes and writing about them.
Mm-hmm. Now, switching back to a more instrumental side of things, how do you approach your leads? Because you have such a melodic feel in your leads. I absolutely love your leads. So how do you approach them?
Do you mean the guitar leads?
Yes.
Yeah. Most of the guitar leads is actually the other guitarist, Simon Johansson. When he came into the band like 10 years, 12 years ago, I felt that now I can really let go of a lot of guitar lead stuff because he does it so well. He does it so well. And but some of the guitar leads are mine, and I'm not a very technical skilled guitarist. So I approach things very melodically. If I want to listen to something, I don't want to listen to a guy practicing his guitar, the fastest he can. I want to hear something, memorable. And I mean, growing up with Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, there were also, there was so much melody, and except bands like that, you memorized the guitar leads as well as the vocals. They became a part of the song and not just like, a transport to the next thing in the song. The guitar leads are usually, an important part of the song. And so that's how I approach it. If I want to listen to it myself, I admire people like Julian Roth, who can play a lot and play very fast, but every note has a meaning, and I really appreciate that. So that's my take on it. But I must give Simon Johansson a lot of credit. Like on the previous album, I think he did all guitar leads. Maybe I did a couple of very simple melodic solos, but a lot of the guitar leads is Simon.
Mm-hmm. And now that the album is out, here it is once again, we're plugging it in. What are your hopes for this record?
I hope it will reach as many people as possible, because I feel it's one of our strongest records up to date. This is the 9th album Wolf has released, and I think it's one of the strongest ones. I really like it. I really like it. It's one of my favorite albums. But of course, I'm very biased, and I'm still in the new album.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it takes like a year or more before I just completely leave it, and then I don't revisit the album for many years,
mm-hmm.
because I want to move on and write new stuff. But I just hope, despite of the pandemic, and it's very, very hard to book live shows and tours right now, I really hope that this album can reach a lot of people, because I think that there's a lot of people who will appreciate the music on this album.
It truly is a perfect record, and so are many others. I came on board with Evil Star, and I felt the band was absolutely phenomenal since then and previously. But what is one thing people would complain about when they review your records? What is one thing that they always say that you must improve on, or they dislike, and how do you get yourself there?
Yeah, the one thing is that there's nothing new here. That's the main complaint about Wolf since day one. And as I said, it doesn't matter whatever we do, we still get that. If we have a crazy theremin solo, or if we have like only tambourine and vocals, doesn't matter, because it is. People say it's a lot of mid-tempo traditional stuff. Yeah, but it's like going to Elvis Presley and complain that he's not singing opera, or Pavarotti, why doesn't he scream more? Like he could do a half a scream in this opera. I don't really get it. We just try to make music, mm-hmm. But that's the main complaint. And of course, reviewers, they listen to a lot of albums. They want to hear something new all the time, and I understand that. And they are kind of reviewing things, so they are looking for things that are negative points, mm-hmm. And has always been the main complaint.
Well, in many ways, ACDC and Motorhead faced the same complaint, and they didn't do so bad.
No, and do you really wish to hear ACDC do like record to a click track, or have no one wants that. No one wants that. So
absolutely not.
No, so I think the music we play this music because it feels natural to us, and we really like this kind of music, mm-hmm. And it's fun to play, and we just try to write good songs. And I mean, we did this before it was cool. I don't even know if it's cool anymore, but we started in 1995. If anyone remembers the 90s, and I had a time machine, go back there and see how much metalheads you would find 1995. I mean, so in a way, we were really ahead of our times. But back then, we were seen as like 10 years behind our time. So, I mean, whatever you do, you're going to get complaints, and you're going to have smart asses telling you that, oh, especially this song sounds like this song sounds like that. Yeah, it's only 12 notes in the Western musical system. So what can you do? A lot of songs sound like a lot of songs. But for some reason, when it comes to more traditional metal, people will try to always point out these things. And I think I mean, if people really have a need to complain about things, they can do it. But myself, I'd rather listen to the music I like and appreciate it.
Yeah, people always complain. I mean, when you don't have a style, they will complain that you don't have a style. When you have a style, they're going to complain that you have a style. So there's no win. Bottom line is, you're making some great music. Even if you're not inventing anything new, you're inventing great songs within your style. And I think that, if you're a fan of the band, should be satisfactory enough.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, of course, I admire people who are actually coming up with something new and fresh. But to my ears, not many people do this. I can name like Jimi Hendrix, maybe Devin Townsend, the Beatles. There's a couple of bands that really are musicians and songwriters who have really come up with something unique. But having a metal band and apply opera vocals to it, for me, it's like you're taking two things and mash it together. And it doesn't impress me at all. I don't give a shit. I don't care. If it's not a song I don't like, I don't care. If it's a song I like, I don't care either. I appreciate it. If they want to have opera, or if they want to play extremely fast, or whatever they want to do, if it's good, it's good. That's my philosophy about it anyway.
Now, since starting Wolf and recording the albums, at what point did you realize that you onto something special here?
I don't know, but I felt when I started to sing, because we didn't have a singer. I wanted to be a guitar player, and when I started to sing, that didn't sound maybe very good, but I just felt like I've got something here. I've got something unique that no one else had. And maybe it's not the best vocals in the world, but I felt that I need to keep on exploring this, because I could feel and hear something I really hadn't heard anyone do. Even though I sing very traditionally, I just felt like my voice, it is what it is, and I can't express myself in any other way. So I thought, for me, I kind of, we didn't try to be original. We just tried to do music, but I kind of felt like there is something here. Wolf have something to offer, and I think and of course, in the beginning, we were kind of almost copying Iron Maiden. On the first record, we tried to write the songs that Iron Maiden forgot to write. And then we explored more into Judas Priest territory, and all more into Paul Di'Anno Maiden. But I think on the fourth record, The Black Flame, we had found, a completely unique Wolf style that was not that we had been looking for a style, but we had become more and more ourselves in our songwriting and music.
After 9 records, what kind of a following are you enjoying at this point?
What kind of
following?
Following?
Yeah.
It's, I mean, there's a lot of fans that they don't look like metalheads. Especially like young American girls in their 20s that don't look as metalheads at all, like Wolf, because they have found our songs and maybe they have found our music in a difficult time in their life, and they found comfort and found something that they really, that have a great meaning to them. Also, we have a lot of course, older, because we are older ourselves now. We have 2 granddaddies in the band, and I'm 48 now, and a lot of people are in our age and older, because they grew up with like early Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Black Sabbath. They were there, and they appreciate that, you know, a younger generation band like Wolf keep it up. And so we have like fans from, I mean, from 10 years old up to 60, and very diverse. And I think that's really cool. But because I've always felt like this kind of music is timeless. To me, it sounds like timeless music. Maybe not everyone agrees, but I think that the best records from the early 80s, the heavy metal records, to me, it's timeless music. And I don't think I'm alone in hearing that. When I hear, recently I listened again to the first 2 Iron Maiden records with Paul Di'Anno. I haven't been listening to them for like 10 years. And I was blown away how much I still love those albums and like the songs. And to me, it still sounds fresh. Although, of course, it's a big part of my upbringing. So I remember that special time as well. But yeah, I just appreciate that more people than myself feel like this kind of music is timeless. It has no generation. It has no people of all skin colors, and it doesn't matter. Many people find heavy metal and just love it, and that's our fans.
It's a music that brings a lot of joy.
Yeah.
How would you describe your position on the American market?
Oh, I guess we would be very, very underground. We have a lot of people in America that likes Wolf and other bands like Wolf, but it's not like we could go on a big tour and sell out big venues in America. I feel like it's still very, very underground, this kind of music. I hope that will change, but that's my feeling about it. We've been to America 3 times, once in Cleveland and once in, was it somewhere in New England, and then Atlanta. And we had great shows and met wonderful people. I just loved it. And it wasn't a huge crowd, but the crowd was very dedicated. And I mean, it's been festival shows, and they loved all bands, European bands from wherever, American bands. They just so hardcore, dedicated, and they appreciate this music very, very much. I guess there was a huge hunger for these kind of shows in America when we were there.
Now, with the new album out and doing really well, is there a chance maybe you can get on some kind of an opening slot throughout the America?
I hope so. We haven't gotten a good offer yet, but if it would make some sense financially, we would love it, really love it, because as I said, I love playing in America. Only been there 3 times, but it felt like home. So that would be awesome. So we are very much open for it.
Outstanding. We'll look forward towards seeing you at one point. Now, finally, when you're not in a band, when you're not playing, when you're not doing shows, recording, what are some things that you do in your life on an everyday basis?
Well, like I said, I have a family. So I have two kids. I live out on the Swedish countryside. We have horses, a lot of chickens, a lot of animals, goats. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do around the house. But mainly, I live a very boring life. I don't go out much. I go to my job, earn my money, get home, go to the gym, try to go to the gym at least couple of days a week and stay fit so I'm able to perform on stage. And then I write songs and sit here and rehearse songs and trying to learn my own songs to be able to sing them and play them at the same time and not, you know, do it well. So that's it. That's all I do, basically. I don't have many hobbies, or I did a lot of drawing and painting at one point in time, but then I realized I cannot, I don't have time for everything I want to do. So I'm very try to be disciplined about the music. So it's only Wolf, working out, day job, family. That's it. That's all I do, really.
Well, thank you, Niklas. Thank you for taking time to speaking to me, and good luck with the new record.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.